a piece called Madachins. None of us know what Which this orchestra does just exceedingly well. I'm really excited to be doing this. But however, two pieces does not a program make, which is why we added some of the other pieces that we've learned this semester, such as a Capriole Suite, and the next piece that we're going to perform for you, which is one of my favorite. I'm just a sucker for movie music. I'm just a romantic at heart, and the movie soundtracks, I think, are some of the best music written in this country. And we're going to do something called Summer Themes. And these are 3 tunes from 3 different movies. The first one is, oh, Summer of '42, for those of you who remember that movie. That was a really beautiful movie. And the second one is A Summer Place, Theme from A Summer Place. This movie was written in, this was in the late 1950s. Sandra Dee and Troy Donahue, for those of you who sort of in my generation. He was sort of like the Brad Pitt of the 50s and 60s. And the last one is from a very little known film that I saw, but not a lot of people did, Picasso Summer. And there is a running theme through all of these, through all of the movies, in fact. And when I programmed this, I thought, okay, mid-March, we're just all hoping that summer is going to come soon. Little did I know when I programmed it that we would be suffering in the middle of summer because I was told that the air conditioning will not come on until after spring break. So I apologize for the elevated temperature in the room. I especially apologize to the orchestra because the guys are suffering up here. It's very warm. The theme that goes through all of these movies that I think makes it so relevant to a high school orchestra is that the theme of all these movies is adolescence in the throes of first love. The first and the last, the Summer of '42 and Picasso Summer, were composed by the French composer Michel Legrand, 3-time Oscar winner for his film scores. The center number, Theme from A Summer Place, was written by Max Steiner, who is probably best known for his film score for Gone with the Wind. So here is a medley of summer themes. And it features our pianist, Anna Keith. but it was later arranged for orchestra by Ralph Vaughan Williams. It's a three-movement piece based on English folk songs. And for those of you who are not aware of what military bands are, they're basically brass bands. Not a lot of winds, mostly brass, featuring some instruments that really only the British play. Weird-looking instruments, but anyway, it's a wonderful, wonderful piece of music, and it's been adapted for almost everything. It's been adapted for piano duet. It's been adapted for just about every kind of ensemble you can imagine. The three movements are, the first one, the March 17 comes Sunday. The second one, Intermezzo, My Bonnie Boy, featuring a solo by our concertmaster, Katie Cox, beautiful solo. And the last one is also March, folk songs from Somerset. It's actually 4 different tunes, all settings of folk songs indigenous to the county of Somerset. the Little Fugue in G minor. And many people think that the title of this indicates that this is a lesser work of Johann Sebastian Bach. In fact, the term Little Fugue in G minor was given to this work to differentiate it from its longer brother, the Grand Fantasia Fugue in G minor. Originally written for the organ, Bach was probably the greatest organist of his time, and it exists in almost every kind of ensemble you can imagine. It is to Bach what da 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 is to Beethoven. It's probably his most recognizable theme. And since it is a fugue, you will hear the theme played by the first violins, then second violins enter, violas, and finally cellos.